Well, g'day, and thanks for tuning in to this, my debut episode of In the Driver's Seat with me, Greg Murphy, where we go for a spin with interesting Kiwis and find out what drives them. It's part cars, part conversation, and always a few good yarns along the way. Now, first and foremost, a big thanks to the sponsor of this podcast, AutoSense, who are helping drivers across New Zealand stay safe behind the wheel with expert fleet and driver safety solutions. Please check them out at autosense.co.nz. Now, if you see me driving around on a weekday afternoon and I'm laughing inside my car, there's chances that I'm listening to my first guest on their award-winning radio show, Jay and Dunc from The Rock Drive. They call their fans Big Herbs, and I'm definitely a big herb. Since they teamed up in 2017, Jay, Reeve and Dunc Heyde have made a wildly successful career out of talking absolute dribble.
I'd play Jay's on The Rock, and they're like, "Oh, you're on The Rock?" And you're like, "Yeah." And you go, "I don't listen to that." It's like, how is this even part of the conversation? I don't even know what you do for a job. Chances are I don't use your services either.
If the radio show is gold-plated content, well, then their podcast, Not for Radio, is absolute solid gold, with jaw-dropping and eye-watering stories. In this episode, we crank into the chemistry that's made them one of New Zealand's most iconic radio duos. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first of all, we are going to go for a spin in Dunc's 1997 Chevy Suburban. Jesus.
11 cup holders, mate.
Oh, look at that. This could be my favourite thing. Your seatbelt, bloody the comfy thing.
That comes out factory standard.
That's a Timu special.
I've heard so much about this car on the radio. I've never seen it.
It's real.
And you still haven't sold it.
Real big. You know what? There's not a massive market for V8 cars at the moment. Unfortunately.
Huge market for dinosaur burning American SUVs.
That also happened to be left-hand drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look at it.
It's glorious.
It spins on a dime, you know?
Yeah.
It's like turning the Kiwi too.
It's like the USS Enterprise. Yeah.
Give it the horn. Give it the horn.
Is it offensive?
No, it's the da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, is it really?
What's it called?
La Cucaracha.
Hello.
The kids keep turning on in the driveway.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah.
Bloody kids. What was was this a reactive purchase? Like, was this a trade me special or what?
Nah, so when we found out we're going to be having kids, Dixie was like, "We need to get an SUV," and I was like,
What about a Kia Carnival?
yeah. And I was like, "I'm not driving a soccer mum car," and then this is the biggest one I could find. And so she was like, "Yeah, right." And then I've had it for 7 years or something now.
What are you driving? Oh, you're on an electric car, are you?
No. So we've got a fleet of England's finest. I've got a Range Rover, and the missus has got a Landy Disco.
There you go.
But I'm not tied to either of those vehicles. They're handy. They fit surfboards in them, on them, kids in them, on them, and normally I prefer to be on a motorcycle.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah. If I was to get,
you're a temporary citizen.
Yeah.
You know this podcast about cars, eh?
Yeah.
If I was to get my dream car, and I'd love to, and Dunc and I always talk about it, like I'd love to get a 69 Dodge Dart, but resto modded. Like I'd love to get, similar to what you've got, but the Dart version.
Yeah.
And probably I'd say spend $600,000 less. Money well spent, mind you, but I just don't have the money to be well spent.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Mate, I love to
you do
drive.
a few Ks too,
eh? Yeah, I've literally lapped the map a number of times in various different vehicles. Doing the Pro Longboard Tour just meant that I was on the road from late December till probably end of March, and surfing all north, all south, and with my parents and family living in Mount Maunganui. Like I love that drive. I love to mix it up. I don't have like a specific way of driving anywhere. even when I drive the kids to school every so often, I'll go a different way just because I just love I'm an inquisitive driver.
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you reckon the best stretch of road to drive in New Zealand is, in your opinion? If you were to have, because you, being Hawke's Bay, you would eat a lot of Ks. I'm guessing that you'd punch to Wellington quite a bit. You'd punch into Auckland a whole bunch.
Auckland mainly. Yeah.
But what's the best section of road to drive if you were to go, here's a loop, go from here to here, and obviously taking the road quality out of it, because let's be honest, fuck me, have we got some room to move on that?
Yeah. That is a really hard question to answer, to be fair, because there's some amazing stuff. That I was up north a few weeks ago too, and went all the way through the Bay of Islands, up to the Bay of Islands, but on the alongside the coast, and then we went round through Kerikeri, and then to the coast again, and went across over to Kaitaia, and then back down and through these amazing roads, and a lot of it's just incredible corners, and it's just there's amazing bits of road, and some of it's still in good nick because it doesn't get used a lot.
Exactly.
And then some of it's not in good nick as well. And then down south, you've got these just amazing, long, beautiful, roads.
Yeah.
And then you've got the stuff that all the tribs that come off it as well. It's so hard to actually answer.
I'll go
that.
West Coast to the South Island.
West Coast's incredible.
And East Cape.
It's an amazing drive through Arthur's Pass. From Christchurch through there. That is something to experience.
Down to Haas.
Being predominantly a motorcyclist, being able to see how bad people are driving and the degradation of people's driving standards and skills is out the gate. Like a red light means nothing now to people.
Mate, I reckon riding a bike does it. If you ride a motorcycle with the right kind of mindset, you actually are so much more a defensive person, 100%. And it makes your driving more defensive, because it doesn't matter if you're riding a bike or a car, the same stuff happens constantly. But a lot of people, motorcycles are deemed as dangerous, right? The majority of things that happen to motorcycle riders are someone else's fault.
Yeah, I remember when I started riding a bit more, and I started working with Jay, and Jay was just act like everyone's out to get you.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and once you're in that mindset, geez, you'd see stuff so much further away you're just soaking it in.
What's wrong with our system or our drivers? What's the worst thing that you guys see on a daily?
You get your license at 16. That's the last bit of skills training that you do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you never, ever, ever, like say for example, if you do any other job, you'll get upskilled within those roles.
You're nailing it.
And even something as...
But you choose to.
Exactly.
I want to be better. I
want
to be better. I want to be better. Do you want to be better at maybe reducing the risk of being killed in a car? No, not really.
I feel like people are more reliant on the technology advances more than anything.
They believe it.
Yeah.
Yes. They don't understand it. They don't know what the stuff is in these cars that are supposedly going to make a difference in certain circuits. They don't know what it does or how it works, but we believe it because we've been told our car's got all this stuff in it.
Also, as far as driver training goes, you're only as good as your teacher. And who teaches most people? Mum or dad.
That's right.
And if they're shit drivers, well, what are you doing?
Well, you got the green arrow just at the right time. Yeah. What about you, dear Dunc? What's your biggest issue with the roads?
Do you know what? I would say the worst time to drive in Auckland is after it's been...
It's when you're doing a podcast.
after it's been raining, and it hasn't been raining for ages, man, it's like people freak out like they've never seen rain before. Literally my journey home must be 18 minutes on a good run or whatever. Will then become half an hour because, I don't know, stuff falling out of the sky turns people into the most cautious, overcautious, terrible drivers.
Well, it's because they don't know. They don't understand.
Are you the guy that will spend absolute top of range on tyres?
100%.
Yeah.
What is it?
The difference. Huge difference. Like $120.
I've done the testing. Yeah. I've driven cars with a brand new tyres of one brand or one price point versus one that's quality, same size, looks the same, but it's a quality product, blah, 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 blah. The difference in performance is 20, 30 meters from 100 kilometers or more in stopping distance.
Yeah.
Just the tyre alone. And then when you take then a used shit tyre, the performance of it is, in certain conditions, is ridiculous. Like, it is useless, completely useless. But we don't teach that.
Nah.
We don't teach that in the licensing process. There's no questions or learning requirement about any of that stuff. You're expected at some stage in your life to just go, hey, you know what? I'm going to sit down and Google what tyres are.
There should be a rebate somewhere in there, you know, for actually giving a shit. Like...
You should be rewarded for giving a shit.
Yes.
Yeah. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
People solely purchase tyres on price point.
Totally. You know, and the irony is the amount of tyre guys that I've spoken to over the years that work in tyre shops, and, you know, old mate brings in his wife's car. I just put the cheapest shit on that. And there's but
she's insured.
It's better. No, there's 2 car seats in the back of it.
Yeah.
There's 2 car seats in the back of it. I'll just put some cheap shit on it's just my wife's car. 2 car seats in the back.
Amazing they're even allowed to sell the shit ones, eh?
Right, good chat.
All
that
right.
went off on a tangent. Let's go and sit in there and
Talk more rubbish.
do what you guys normally do. Thanks for coming in, fellas, to have a chat and do this. It's a little bit weird, though. I'm sitting here and you're sitting over there.
This is the wrong way around compared
Yeah.
to what we're used to.
Which is not, it makes for a pleasant change. I actually love sitting on this side of a microphone when podcasts are happening, because it just means that your brain doesn't have to work.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not insinuating that it works when I'm actually doing it, but this is even less.
Yeah, because you guys, congratulations on recent New Zealand Radio and Podcast Awards.
Yeah, picked up another one. You beauty.
You're not surprised.
Well,
you want to be humble, don't you?
No. I think
we deserved it.
Yeah, I think we've done the work, and
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're a part of the show every afternoon, you understand that it's chaos, but it is organised chaos. And when we first, it was an arranged marriage for us, you know, and so when we got put together, we were open and honest about what it is that we wanted to achieve and how we wanted to achieve it, and so we've set these steps and goals in place, and we've achieved them. And it shouldn't be any surprise that we have the audience that we have and having the success that we have, because we've got a fucking plan and we work really hard at it. Well, Dunc works really hard at it. And I turn up and I'm there watching him work hard.
Geez, you turn up.
Yeah.
Like, I see you swiping and everything with your own card.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget it, but, you know, like, we try our best. So, yeah, it is, like, when we say we're not surprised, and I think you should be able to celebrate some success, you know?
Like, it's totally.
And we did till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And it hurt for 2 days.
Yeah. But, you know, it's not easy, man. How many shows have you worked out? You've done the numbers?
Well, even like the Not For Radio podcast.
Forget the Not For Radio for now.
So that's at 500.
Yeah.
And it feels like we've just started that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be in the
how many
thousands.
years now doing the drive?
Are we 6 or 7 or something?
We're trying to figure that out the other day.
So it'd be a couple of thousand.
It has just gone.
Which is weird to say out loud.
It has gone fast, though, too, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big. I'm a fan because I keep texting you when I'm listening to shit and just with crying, laughing emojis all the time.
But that's probably when it comes to our job, because, like, you're like a person that we've idolised. Well, we had posters of you on our wall as kids, you know, and obviously the age gap.
We've been through the 10-year age gap thing. It's enough.
But I mean, it's weird to think, because you don't think that people like yourself listen to, like, you don't think that people of note listen to the radio. But people of note are just exactly that. They are people. So of course they do the same sort of stuff. But it was like a wild, and particularly for Showboss Teagues, like, her fucking little mind was blowing.
Now, I know, but you need to remind everyone listening who Teagues is.
Showboss Teagues is, I guess, the central nervous system that operates off the brain, which is Dunc and Heyde. She's a producer and makes everything work. She is the grease, the wheels, whereas he's the engine, and I'm probably the ashtray. And now it's become,
teach you.
Yeah. And
show
now,
me.
Yeah. And obviously, like, you've got a great relationship with her, and she, it's that sort of stuff, I think, is probably the biggest trip with our job, is people that you really admire having some shared admiration, or at least being a part of what you're doing.
I sent you that picture of the first photo I got with Murph. I was working for Classic Hits in Christchurch. Had just done a hot lap round Ruapuna. Remember, I had hair, which was weird.
So it's a long time.
Big old shit-eating grin on my face. I was a happy boy that day.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, yeah, the amount of stuff that's gone under the bridge there with you blokes, I mean, is just phenomenal. What you've done together is deserves to be celebrated. So who put you together? How did that marriage get made?
Well, there was like a short list, and then ultimately
Say who's on the other. These are the guys that didn't get the job.
And then, yeah, ultimately it was my decision, and with the Brad, the boss, and he was sort of like, I think it's probably the right call. But I didn't know Jay from a bar of soap.
Yeah.
I'd asked lots of people that knew Jay, and not a single one of them had a bad word to say about him. I was like, well, that's a good start.
Yeah. What point? How early did you guys start to realise, we've got a pretty good combo going on here. We've got a pretty good mix happening.
I think that I noticed really, really, really quickly, if not instantly, because Dunc's a consummate professional, and I'll say it, and I'll scream it from the rooftops that he's the greatest broadcaster that I think this country has seen in recent times. Like, there is heritage people that have done great jobs for long periods of time, but nobody has done what Duncan has done in the last 5 years in terms of the growth of our show, and then being able to I'm not going to use the word pivot, but being able to diversify his broadcasting offering into being such a successful podcaster, and being able to put it together so that it is exactly what people want when they want it, or even in most cases before they know what they want. Like, that's impressive, because I'm a data pig. I like to sit on the outside. I like to see where trends are going, and then try and be not the first mouse to the cheese, but to be the one that really picks up the critical mass rolling through. And Dunc does it without knowing that he's doing it, and that's the most impressive part. And you can just see his dedication to the job. And also, I haven't earned my stripes in radio at all. Like, I'm not a broadcaster. I'm a person that does a radio show. Yep. Whereas Dunc is a broadcaster. He's done everything to turn thousands of sausages outside Bunnings. He's done all of the dog bodies work. He's done all of the dumb shit that you do in radio as an intern. And then he's worked every single show. And he knows everything from producing a show to live emceeing as being part of a broadcasting network. And that's impressive.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Dunc.
Very nice words, Jay. Yeah. No, I to answer your question in with a shorter answer, probably 3 months, which isn't long. It normally takes about 6 months, because I've worked on a few new shows. About 6 months before you feel like you're starting to find your feet. And then we've been lucky along the way to have like super successful segments that have gone extremely viral, like the nicknames. Most people would have probably seen that with the numbers that they've had, and that obviously helps as well. It kind of snowballs, like when you and particularly on social media, you have a real slow growth period, but once you bust open the other side, the growth's ridiculous. Like, I think on our Facebook page, it's close to 1 million people on there now, which is just mind-boggling. Like, as we get stories, like yesterday, we had stories from just on the radio show from there was Scotland, UK, Canada, and somewhere in the southern states of America in one day. It's like, it's so hard to wrap your head around.
Radio used to connect communities locally, and then it stretched out to being domestically, and now it's 100% an international community every single time you sit behind it, which is what this is. Like, people are going to listen to this, and like, there'll be someone driving along or sitting there listening to this right now in the most far-flung place. Like, there'll be someone in Scott Base in a snowcat, putting out to check some ice core samples, listening to this going, classic, I love Murph, who are these idiots?
Yeah. Delete.
Skip next.
Dunc, have you ever met anyone like this bloke? Like Jay?
Nah, there's only one Jay Reeve.
Like,
there's only...
How should it be if there's more?
Jay's incredibly charismatic. His superpower has been able to connect with anybody from any walk of life. Like, I've seen it so many times. I said it the other day. I don't know what we were doing, but he could walk in, find common ground with a patch gang member, just the same as he could with a West Auckland bogan or a billionaire. One of his mates is a billionaire or a billionaire friend. Jay just goes thump and finds common ground. Yeah, it's amazing.
But how does someone who's only 42 know so much shit? Like, it's like he's lived 12 different lives.
So
think
his
he
saying
knows.
is he knows a little about a lot.
No.
But Dunc knows how little I know. And if
That's
you
not
say it
true.
with conviction,
You know that's
it
not
sounds-
true, right? I mean,
Jay's got amazing retention.
insane retention.
But I reckon for the most part, it probably only lives in your brain for about 6 months. Jay's always jamming new stuff in. And for the 6 months following after he's been excited about a new piece of information, I'll hear that come out a few more times in that 6 months.
Your radio show is one thing, but then not for radio. I listen to it. Okay, maybe he does know a little about a lot. I don't know, but the amount of stuff that he can comment on,
Oh, yeah.
and I believe everything he says because he makes it sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm the same as you, though. I tell myself something and I believe it. And so I reckon I'm swimming around in my head, pulling all these little bits of information, and I'm not sure if I'm making it up or if I've heard it.
Or someone's
and so
told you.
that's the chaos of my mind.
I'm not sure I'm making it up or I've heard it.
Yeah.
That should be a t-shirt.
That's what we say on the radio show all the time, just to cover ourselves. Listen to Half Believer Quarter.
Yeah, and it's been termed as JST because there is an embellishment to everything that I say, because if you're telling a story, you're telling a story. Like, that's the most important part. It's a story. And what is a story supposed to do? It's supposed to entertain you, inform you slightly, but for the most part, the reason why I'm talking is because I want to twist up the corners of your mouth or make you think about something.
Do you know how successful a politician would be if they told stories like that? You know,
Yeah. Well, they are. They're full of shit, just like me.
That's what I mean. Yeah, well, I know they're not, but it's not entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, I'd believe everything bloody, a politician would say if they told it in the way that you tell stories. It'd be fantastic. There'd be no problem at all.
It'd be a terrifying concept.
I was
Me as a
just thinking
politician.
that. I was
It'd be
like,
great.
imagine that.
Oh, how
Imagine
good-
just
how
pulling
good
the
this
door
place
open
Jay
is.
like
was going there with a broom.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
good would this place be?
It would
Anyway.
it'd be a wardrobe like the catacombs as opposed to a couple of skeletons.
There was literally a list on our radio prep sheet, and there would be stuff that we'd find every day, and you go, I don't know if we'd get away with that on the radio show.
Yeah, right.
And it was
yeah.
under a list that said not for radio. And it was just getting longer and longer and longer. And I was looking, I was like, this has got to go somewhere.
It literally
I
said
know-
not for radio.
Yeah.
And so that's where the thing.
And that was just someone creating. This is not, basically, yeah.
And it was like a
Wow.
list of stuff that we liked, that we knew that people
But
that
we
engage with
can't-
the radio show would probably like as well, but it can't go on a normal broadcast.
Yeah.
And then so we just started, and the thing just went berserk.
And I think we knew the importance of building community, having shared language. So that's like, there's a book by Sebastian Junger called Tribes, and he talks about this. And it's like, that's what brings you together. There's chemical reactions that are happening between our bodies right now when we're looking at each other. Oxytocin levels are going up because that's what connects us to one another. And so we know, like, I love human development. And so that's part of human development, and marketing is what fizzes me up. And by being able to create these communities and being able to move them in a certain direction, what started as something really, really small instantly resonated with a large portion of the population, which kind of felt like they'd been left behind or sort of marginalized. And you're either fucking being a vegan and tying yourself to oil tankers, or you are a massive racist.
Yep.
Like there's no in between.
No
and
in between.
It's like you're either one or the other. And I think there's a beautiful spectrum of people across the world that believe in whatever they want to believe.
It's a majority.
But the shared sense of humor sits smack bang in the middle, and we know the line, and we basically made sure that was dictated early doors in the Sniper's Nightmare Facebook group. Is it just a no dickhead policy? Like it's
I think
not
that's
being
literally one of the rules on the group.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't be a dickhead.
It's not being woke. It's just not being a sexist, racist piece of shit, which is a real simple format to run past.
Have you got the two of you working together on the radio, the weirdest guest callers, stuff that stands out?
I had this operation and had my chest all stitched together, and there was this curry yarn that was sent in from Natal, and it was basically this American guy was getting paid free beers to do this, being a curry eating judge, And the way that Dunc delivered it was
That's
just brutal.
fantastic.
And I ripped the stitches apart, laughing so hard. And then that got this massive, I ended up getting a staph infection after going surfing over in the States with it. And so it was whole chopped out of my chest. And now I've got a cat's anus in between my pec muscles because Dunc made me laugh so hard on the show.
When he got the staph infection, he had to have it.
I remember.
Yeah, do you
I remember the
pump
chat.
on here?
Yeah.
Because he had like a bandage that went over it with a tube coming out of it, and it was like
Had a sponge inside it.
that was sucking whatever out.
Yeah, it sounded
the
gross
pus out.
talking about it.
And
I
so
didn't want to see
we'd
it.
be doing the radio show, and his little pump would go. Zzz. Like just trying to keep him alive.
Was there a video put online about it?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, there was a few, and then that was a weird time. Geez, you're a healthy guy.
Yeah, real healthy guy.
You must be. You guys have had just hundreds and hundreds of guests of people from all over the place. Is there a standout guest? Is there someone that just had inspired you the most? The most memorable chat.
I'm gonna go. This is before Jay. Actually, I'm gonna go. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Oh wow,
He was. They talk about. You hear people talk about big dick energy.
Yeah,
he's got the biggest.
yeah. Yeah,
Like the way he commanded a room. Him and Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age had a really good interview with him, which is quite funny because ours went way longer than what it was supposed to. We were they just banned smoking, and we were in the back of Spark Arena and the Invicta Arena, and he was enjoying the interview, and there was TV3 outside, Radio Hodaki, a whole bunch of other people ready to interview him, but
he didn't give a shit.
the lady came in and he told her to piss off,
Yeah.
and then they just banned smoking. Then he lights up a Camel cigarette, drinking an AW root beer, just having the time of his life doing this interview. And I was like, man, that was pretty cool. Like, he's about as rock and roll as it gets.
Yeah.
And maybe some people listening to this won't have any clue who he is, but like, you think of the coolest
Yeah.
motherfucker,
Yeah.
and that's him.
Yeah.
He's the last of that generation. I think for me, Pete Bethune, who did Earth Race, he's just got an endless barrage of crazy stories. Obviously, he put his boat in front of the Japanese whaling ship and it sunk in Antarctica, and then he jumped on the Japanese whaling ship, and then they found him and arrested him, and like all of his stories are just endless. And we'll get him on and talk for 2 hours at a time and say about 6 words each, and the rest of it's him. He's really mad. And then the other one, which really sticks out to me for whatever reason, is TJ Power, who's a neuroscientist from the UK.
I've heard you talking to him.
Yeah, and mate, he was just, in terms of profound people that you speak to, and probably getting a greater understanding of why my brain does what it does and how it operates.
You understood a bit more about you.
And which was the craziest bit about it. So I think those two would be. I mean, we've got 20 years of interviewing celebrities and sports people and that sort of stuff, but it's those ones for me that sort of stick out. You're like, man, I didn't even imagine that this was going to be that impressive.
That's crazy. Yeah. But what again, that's isn't that, how special is that though to have engaged
it's a massive privilege.
And had the privilege of it. It's just enormous.
Yeah, and also like the people, the regular contributors to the show, like yourself, or like rugby players or league players that I'm just trying to think of ones that are probably like Joe Wheeler. Like whenever we get him on, he's great chat and he represents his community well. You represent yourself and the community well. And so we're lucky. We get time with people like you that are the best of the best of the best of the best, and then also have a great broadcasting ability where you might be an incredible driver, but a shit chat. How many people have you got? Like, there's lots of great rugby players, a lot of shit chat.
Yeah.
Great surfers, shit chat. Like, there's always that top tier are generally so
they stand out,
tied up in what it is that they do, that they don't have any of that EQ or the ability to chat. But you were at the top and you've got top chat. And so those are the unicorns within those different sports that you find and that you resonate with and have a great relationship with, which is, like, that's kind of cool. That's a trip as well.
Yeah, massively. What about the listeners, mate? I mean, guys, fellas, have you seen a shift? Are they still exactly the same people, or just a wider audience now? Have you broadened the rocks?
I think people
sort of
got
rank
to
to
still,
comment on that.
Yeah, I think people still have and have always had a pre-perceived idea of what the average rock listener is,
which is wildly inaccurate.
Yeah,
wildly
totally.
inaccurate.
Like, for example,
You can be a bogan.
Yeah, that's
But-
definitely a big part of it.
But that doesn't fit that person into a little box
No.
in any way. It's just things that you enjoy. Some of those things that you enjoy might give you that little that touch of that of that label, but the rest of it's
like
totally different.
The other day, riding my motorcycle home, pulled up behind a Bentley, and could see through, and
you can see on the screen,
and they were listening to The Rock. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that. But as far as the
isn't that
audience,
funny?
I think the audience has probably softened. Like we're very lucky, and that's probably from the start. We built a community that would never punch down. Like everyone's very positive on our text machine. Like it'd be once every 2 weeks we get one message that's like, fuck you guys or whatever. Whereas I don't think every radio show would have that. And a real good real life example of that is when we have our big Rock 2000 party at the end of the year. And we have to work it because we're doing the last 20 songs or whatever of the countdown. Then after we get to go out and see all the punters and stuff. And multiple times, like everyone's just so nice. Multiple times I've been in the line getting a drink and people will be trying to buy me a drink. I'm like, no, it's all good, but appreciate it or whatever. And then they'll just turn around to the person beside them and be like, hey mate, do you want a drink? I can get you another one. I'm only getting two sort of thing. Which is, I'm just like, holy hecker. Same thing when we go to Rock Island, which is like 200 rock listeners in Vanuatu or Fiji or whatever, and they're just all best friends instantly. They've got like a common shared ground in rock music or our show. They connect with, the breakfast show or our show or whatever. And yeah, I think to answer the question, I think they've softened and they've probably got more empathy.
Yeah.
I think
That's an amazing description. I wouldn't have.
Those two
picked-
words
no.
probably wouldn't have popped into your head.
The tenure of identities within the rock station itself is just outrageous. You look at Rog and Bryce and stuff. I mean, to be involved in that environment, and you guys, would you say 8 years?
Seven maybe?
I mean,
I'll be at the Rock 17 though.
Yeah.
I think that. I mean
that's
the Rumble collectively. I think. Well, obviously Roger's been there from pretty much inception.
Dave,
Bryce not far off the back of that.
20 what the other day? Other week?
25 maybe?
25?
Yeah.
Miles is up there as well. Like he's
getting there.
He's been in the mixer, and Mel's been in the frame for as long as well. And I think there's a certain amount of trust that goes in that you, as a listener, you engage in that. And I mean, obviously we're lucky to be in the position. Like if you look at how many people have our jobs across the country, it's a handful. There are more brain surgeons than there are radio hosts. And so we're in a very privileged and lucky position to do the job that we love to do
too, by the way.
Yeah, concerningly enough, some of them do.
But you know, and I'm not, I am going to give you guys a pat on the back. I mean, what you mentioned it before, the amount of money that has been raised through everyone working together collectively for great causes, and mental health being one of them, is wow. How do you can't give an award for that. I mean, it's just it's incredible the statistics around that and the genuine want and desire to do something great.
Yeah. Well, I think what we do in particular on our show is offer up solutions to problems. Like look for, instead of going, because I mean everyone's like, this is the issue, throw some money at it. Well, that's one thing that will help to a certain extent. But when we talk about it, particularly through the month of November, it's like if your mental fitness, and we call it mental fitness because everyone's got a different fitness level in every part of their life. So you have a physical fitness and a mental fitness, is if you aren't feeling that great, maybe if you knock the piss on the head for a couple of weeks and give that a bit of a rest, maybe instead of looking at your phone when you wake up in the morning first thing, why don't you get up, go outside, have a bit of sunshine beat down on your face, and then go for 15-minute stroll. Maybe do something simple that's a guided breathwork session with Wim Hof, which is 11 minutes of your day. Like try all this different stuff, like eat more veggies or just go purely carnivore or whatever it is. Try all of these things, and then if you're feeling a little bit shit, then we can look at the next steps, and I think that's probably what people appreciate, because for the majority, when you turn on anything, a TV or a radio, this is how bad the world is, this is what's going wrong, and that's why I like your approach to it. Like you're coming up with solutions. This is a solution to a problem. This is, you're creating some space for there to be answers for the problems that have popped up. You're not going, give me the answer, give me the silver bullet, fix it for me now, because collectively
it's all up to us to fix it together.
Yep, completely. Totally. Well, jeez. Yeah. Dunc, anything to add?
I love
Dunc's still here, by the way. Yeah.
The oxygen's been ripped out.
I don't know when to let him go.
He's just passed out. There's no oxygen left in it.
Yeah. Well, that is a good answer.
Yeah, well, it is. It's
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah. Have you, two of you, you know each other intimately?
No, I mean, there's rumours going
Yeah,
around.
well, you know.
There's
also videos.
Yeah.
In what sense of the word? Because I'd like clarification on the record.
We thought we'd scrub the internet of those videos, but anyway, what we were referring to.
Has there been any clash?
I'm a tough person to work with, and so Dunc, we also from the get-go, we're not carrying anything out of the studio, and Dunc sets a standard, and more often than not, I'm not at that standard. So it's not there hasn't been clashes. There's been an expectation for me to lift my game, and that's something that I know that I've made the mistake before. I need to be reminded, and I think Dunc probably, this is talking on his behalf, knows when I know that I've made the mistake.
Jay's always way harder on himself than what he needs to be. I think we've had one argument in 7 years, and that we went home after the show. Sweet, it was over a very small thing, and we laughed about it.
It was over me not being prepared and not doing my job properly, and then it played out, and I took offence to it. That's what it was. Yeah. So man. I had no reason to be mad about it, but I got mad anyway because it just
was a good watch.
It exposed me for being the unorganised piece of shit that I am.
But it's not bad in 7 years, you know.
Yeah. He's got so much other shit going on too, isn't he?
No, but Jay's really good at focusing. He does.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, he manages it a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jay's like...
I surround myself with really successful people.
I
am. When we're talking about motoring, I am a trailer that hooks myself onto successful vehicles, and that's what I do.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's another T-shirt. Hey, don't be ashamed of that. That's bloody clever.
Yeah, I sit and Dunc slipstream on the radio, just nice, zero energy output, just being towed along, unwarranted, unregistered.
Farm trailer spec.
That's really good. I like that. He comes up with some good shit. So I think we covered this anyway. And it's pretty obvious, I suppose, after everything we have talked about. Radio, I mean, it's changing a lot very quickly. The biggest shift would be for you that you've noticed is that access, right? Would it be the worldly access? We probably have already talked about it. I think
this is probably one of the easiest ways of putting it is that when we first signed our radio contracts, we would sit behind a microphone and we would do one job.
Yeah,
and that was the expectation. And so to salarize that input is one thing. And so over the last sort of 10 years, now you're no longer a radio host. There's an expectation that you'll promote brands on your own social channels and on the social channels which have been created. Now you're in front of a camera at all times when you're doing it. All of that stuff gets sort of split out. So you're a TV presenter, you're a brand ambassador, you're a radio host, you're a podcaster now, you're a TikTok personality.
You're not hidden, eh? You're not hidden.
No, those days are gone.
And the remuneration point, I think, is what this is for most people.
Hasn't changed.
No, shit, no. It's gone backwards.
Yeah.
Like there's no more, and rightly so. The halcyon days of radio, where Blackie famously, you could probably tell the story.
Kevin Black, one of the greatest humans ever. There's actually an award at the New Zealand Radio Awards named after him called the Blackie Award. That's the best piece of radio for the year. In 1987, he was New Zealand's first millionaire radio jock. So he's getting paid $1 million a year. There was 3 stations in Auckland, and he would get delivered from his house in a limo.
But there was
work every day.
The guys in Australia who
Colin and Jackie O.
But before them even, the big names in radio. Sam Newman used to do a radio show, the AFL footballer. Reputedly, the numbers back then.
It's mind-boggling. But
numbers.
that's what you can justify when people's attention spans aren't split as many ways as what they are now,
that's right?
And New Zealand's got the most
radio advertising. It was so much more compact on where you spent your spent
3
money.
TV stations to spend it on, and very few radio stations. I think New Zealand is the most radio populated country on the planet, and like for example, the Rock's got I think it's 18 frequencies across New Zealand. Zealand, and so it includes all of those 18, but there's like 330 radio stations in New Zealand for 5 million people.
Broadcasting.
Yeah.
And you look at Sydney on their commercial part of the band is like 6 or 5 radio stations. So there's
Servicing a population 4 times the size of New Zealand.
well, it's the same size, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney's 5 million, I think.
JST.
To make a radio station, like you hop in your car and you punch the rock on, that's Dunc said, that's 18 frequencies which are being leased off the government on a 10-year term that need to make a certain amount of money back commercially before you start making money as a company. And I think that people were just like, oh, yeah, Spotify's going to blow you guys out of the water. Or the weirdest part is, and I wonder if and I'll throw the question back to you, you meet somebody and they don't know what you do for a job. And I don't ever introduce myself as a job because, A, I do fucking heaps of jobs.
I don't even know. I still don't know what the other day I went to Australia and it's like occupation. I mean,
Yeah.
Do you put down,
I don't know.
I'm Greg Mother Hickin Murphy? But so you turn up and so you're having a conversation with somebody and they, I don't know, whatever it is, and particularly in New Zealand, and they go, so what do you do for a job? And you go, I stuff and things. And they're like, oh, in particular, and then someone goes, oh, I play Jay's on the rock. And they're like, oh, you're on the rock? And you're like, yeah. And you go, I don't listen to that. It's like, how is this even part of the conversation? I don't even know what you do for a job. Chances are I don't use your services either. But do you, it's like someone saying to you, hey, what car do you drive?
Yeah.
And you go, I drive X. And they're like, well, I don't drive one of those. Good chat. Thanks, mate.
Or they go, I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
And you go, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think it's the only job. Like you never go, hey, what do you do for? I'm a lawyer. Oh, who do you work for? Bell Gully. Yeah, no, I don't do any legal work with Bell Gully.
Good.
Well, luckily enough, there's enough population in New Zealand that do, and they make a shit ton of money, and so you're insignificant.
yeah, exactly. And they don't give a shit. So, where do you think, buddy, the Rock Drive is going to be in 5, 10?
Well, there'll be little heads in jars floating around on robots.
You might be. That bloody carcass.
Oh, the carcass is gone. Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys still, I mean, you love it.
Yeah, we still love it. Yeah.
I'm adamant. Like if I'm not sitting next to this bloke, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Different for him because he's got skill and as a broadcaster, and there's probably more milestones that Dunc deserves to hit and would like to hit, and that doesn't necessarily need.
We've definitely got unfinished business, and if that ever, like, I don't have a massive appetite to continue doing radio without Jay. There may be something that I want to sink my teeth into, but for the most part, I think we feel like we're still just getting started after 7 years. I think, and there's we love our podcast for.
Does that blow you away?
Yep.
Just that statement in its own. I mean,
but I don't know. We're driven. We're hungry. We always want to be better. I don't think, you can never finish a radio show or a podcast and be like, that was our best work. We've clocked that, which is why you keep going back for more. It's a drug.
The content that keeps coming through, there's just no end in sight, right? And there never will be.
But we've always said that, the day we stop enjoying it, we won't do it.
Yeah.
So we still love it at this point.
And I think we're you don't own the community that you're a part of. Like, you're just a part of it. And it's a great community of individuals now globally to be a part of, and that's an honor and a privilege in itself. And we do have fun. Like, we turn up, we sit in the studio listening to music that we like, and I laugh pretty much for 2/3 of the show.
Yeah,
and then the rest of it's listening to chat. Like, it's a great job.
Me saying the time and what station people listen to.
It's a cool place to operate. I think there is going to be iterations of the job, and it will change. And I think that we're in a position where we could probably command those iterations because we've done it long enough, we do it well enough, we make enough money for the organisations that we work for, and we do have options. Like, mate, the amount of plates that, like, Dunc's forever, doing up houses and building property portfolios, and it's at a point we're not doing it. Put it this way: we don't do it for the cash. Like, we do it because we have fun, and that's a sweet spot to be.
But it also enables other things to happen from it as well.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, and that's important.
It's a great place of leverage.
Yeah. And I think the real important thing is the listeners, the people, genuinely believe that what you just said too.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing try hard about any of it. You're not.
You can smell try hard from a mile away.
Yeah.
Mate, we use the analogy. It's like desperation is one of those things, whether you know it or not, you can pick up on it. Like how often, and we're going way back now, but if you are a single bloke and you walk into a bar and you've just come out of a long-term relationship, and then in that relationship you're forever just getting chips from the side from different lasses, the second you're single, in your mind you're like, whoa, there's an absolute backlog here. Single file, ladies, please, just take a number, and you turn up and you don't really do anything differently. You think you're not doing anything differently, and there's a wide berth around you. And that's exactly the same in radio. When you want it real bad, it'll never come to you because it's just not natural and it's forced. And it's, I don't know, that's the same old saying. Gandhi said it's like, don't force a fart because it'll end up being shit. You know, like that's what it is.
That was one of his famous sayings. Yeah.
I think once again, I think it was him. I think
you're right. It was him. Yeah.
This has been very good, but we're going to have to move on. Driving is no joke. It's one of the most dangerous things we do on a daily basis. AutoSense is all about creating safer journeys for every Kiwi behind the wheel. So before we wrap up, I've got a few safety-focused questions for the two of you to answer. Can you handle being in the driver's seat? If your car could dob you in, what would it say about your driving habits?
I need to keep an eye on more turning arrows.
Particularly when they're what colour?
Orange turning red is one you need to watch out for, and if they're red, you need to be real careful. Yeah. I don't. Nah. If I could be dobbed in for my driving, I'm pretty cruisy. Hey, I'm never in a rush anywhere. It's the joys of the hours we work.
Good.
Yeah. So I don't even think I've ever been done speeding. Maybe once, a long time ago. Definitely been done for no rego, no warrant, but that's probably more of a financial issue on my part. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't reckon I don't reckon my car would really dob me in for anything. Questionable music choice and volume would probably be,
classic hits.
Yeah. No. I just fall down these little rabbit holes. Listening to this bloke at the moment.
No shit.
Yeah. Listening to this bloke at the moment called Medium Build, which is such a great name. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
Motorcycle, completely different.
Yeah. You've never been pulled over. You just said that. Have you?
Heaps. Truckloads. Yeah. More so on two wheels than four. And as a result of that, I got a long walk. I got a 6-month suspension.
Yeah, well, how long ago was that?
I'm still on it. I'm just driving. It was actually when we were living back at the Mount, so it was quite tough because there's quite a bit of commuting. So financially, flying back and forward weekly was. I learnt my lesson. Put it that way.
What genuinely? Have you got anything that really freaks you out on the road? Weather, other drivers? Do you like driving at night?
No, it doesn't. I've got no issues driving at night. Mentioned it earlier when we were in the car. Auckland drivers after it's been raining is something else at peak hour traffic. Like I don't think people in the rest of New Zealand could fathom what it's like to drive with them. They don't indicate. They like it, and when
white knuckle, don't they forget they've got mirrors?
They like all of us. Like Aucklanders don't really merge like a zip for the most part anyway, because everyone's in a rush. I assume that's why, but it doesn't even exist at all after and during heavy rain or. That's probably my only thing.
It's like it doesn't rain often in Auckland.
I would say for me, it would be the general standard of roading in New Zealand is my biggest bugbear and concern, because if you are forever in road cones and under construction, then you're always dragging out those times that it takes you to get to places. Like say, for example, when I head to work through the bottom of town here, I live 12 kilometres from my doorstep to the office, and that can take me 10 minutes or it can take me 45, and that's all dependent on where traffic flow has been pushed because of roadworks, making diversions, all the rest of it. And then on top of that, and if I'm getting soapboxy on it, if I was that rubbish at my job and had to have it redone over and over and over again at a cost to somebody, which I'm assuming is me as the taxpayer, I wouldn't have that job. Like I don't think there's enough competition in the market to demand a higher quality product at a lower price. And so as a result of that, it seems to me as a bit of an old boys network of like, well, we're bloody mates at whatever club, so I'll give you this contract. And as a result of that, there's no accountability. I just watched the curbing get done on my road, which didn't need to be done. And they were there for 3 weeks just putting new curbing in and new channel, which didn't need to be replaced.
Because it was in the system at some stage, and then when it turned up, no one had the the bloody foresight or took enough interest in going, you know what, we need to spend this money somewhere else.
And then the driveways got redone as a part of that, so they took the whole driveways out, and then the driveways had too much of a hump in them, so they had to Kango the whole driveways again and do a whole street of driveways because it was signed off
Twice.
Yeah, so it was signed off the first time as part of the, when they put the tender in and got the process through, and then when they came out to check it off, it was a different person. They're like, that's not to code, so now you're going to have to dig them up and go again. Like, that sort of stuff's really infuriating because I know that we're just bleeding cash. And as a result of that, if you're spending money on superfluous rubbish like that, then it's impossible to make the upgrades or create education pieces, because that costs money as well, to make people better drivers on those roads. So I think that there's a misappropriation of funds and effort and attention.
There's a rabbit hole there that I'm not going to now dive into.
I can see you tense up. When
You see me tense up? Yeah. Did you?
Yeah,
Did you actually physically see me?
Yeah, and I know it's a bugbear of yours, but I could see you tense up when he mentioned roadworks and road cones.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think it could be better. Put it that way. And once again, I just said that, I don't know that's not my field of expertise. I would go, you could travel around the world and go, who's got the best roads, who does the best job of upgrading it, and just steal their ideas. Just nick them. And because they're clearly doing it better.
But when you've allowed the culture to form and manifest into what we've allowed it to manifest into, then it doesn't matter what the process is for creating quality. The culture is what it is, so it delivers what it wants whenever it wants, as it feels like it.
But that's the same
problem.
And over budget.
You look across the road at, like, I mean, they may not have been around. I don't know when they got outlawed, but there was traffic cops and then there was police, and like now police are being stretched into police are being stretched into all these different roles. And then when somebody, like, if a police officer pulls you over, and this is rich coming from me. You've done something to get their attention to pull you over. And yes, there are other people doing exactly what you're doing. But that doesn't absolve you of responsibility. Exactly. Yeah. Well, what about that guy going fast? Well, how fast were you going? Oh, like 115. Well, what's the speed limit? 100 Ks. How's the maths on you? 115 more than 100? So you're breaking the fucking rules. It doesn't
matter that guy's doing it. Well, it does matter, but you're the one that's there.
And my mate down the road might pick him up. So I think those sort of things, like, there's an attitude and a standard which is massively slipped.
Yeah, massively.
And I think it's at a cost to all of us, but we don't acknowledge it.
Distractions. Do you guys have you got one that kids?
I read there was some stat that about 6 months ago we read it out, but kids are worse than phones in cars because of young kids. For how much they distract you.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Drop my drink bottle, I need this, and you turn around and one of them's hit the other one or whatever.
Absolutely.
They need to be able to be put on silent like a phone, because you can't fit a kid in a glove box.
No.
It's obviously.
And maybe you should.
No.
Yeah, kids, but I mean, everyone has to deal with that, but it's how you deal with it. Sometimes it's harder to block out.
I reckon my one, controversially, is that if there is a cycle lane that's been purposely built on the side of a road, yet there is a cyclist still using the road, that's one thing that's a massive distraction to me, because then I have to drive out of my lane to get around a person that's not paying to be in the lane that I'm driving in.
But the distraction is the fact that it is grating the shit out of you.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like listening to music, and so I set playlists before I leave, and I sit in the driveway and then go.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I like to chill, and my kids have got playlists that they like, and they're at an age where they can run things from the back seat. They've got a DJ responsibility. The aux cords in the back of the center console, so they play music, and I can just skip it on the steering wheel. So I mean, probably my biggest distraction, like Dunc said, because I'm a motorcyclist, I've got a 180-degree field of view that I'm looking at, which is what I sort of soak things up in. Obviously, 360 checking mirrors, but I like to look at the countryside, and I like to look at buildings, and I wouldn't say that I'm more qualified to do it because I'm a motorcyclist, but at the same time, I'm more qualified to do it because I'm a motorcyclist.
Sounds like you just said it.
Yeah.
Right. Driving tired. Have you ever had the old wind the window down because I'm feeling fatigued?
Yep, would have. 100% would have.
This is a story that can't be shared on here, but has been on the radio. So we would... I'm not even going to get into it.
I don't even know what that one is.
It's the one with the bus
The overtake, yeah.
don't
So
tell that
basically,
on
I have driven tied, and that's the thing.
Is there stats around if you're driving
very hard?
Yeah, surely that's just as bad as drink driving if you're super tired.
Yeah,
I would say it's like at a ridiculous level comparatively of being drunk.
Wow.
Yeah, like over the limit. At certain levels of tiredness is exactly the same as driving drunk.
Yeah,
because the way your brain functions, obviously. So
it's amazing, like when you're feeling like that, like, and I have driven tired, most people probably have, but if you're like, you're normally trying to push through to get to a location on a time, or just, I'll drive back tonight, and then you're super tired.
It's only another hour.
But if you pull over and then you get a coffee and then you're in the fresh air, even better if it's winter because it's cold fresh air, it's amazing how much that revives you just that little bit more than as opposed to just pushing straight on through. I've definitely done that a few times.
Yeah, the Navy SEAL, that Navy SEAL 3-minute power nap that they talk about, which is ultra marathon runners use it as well, and it's like a breath work piece that you do, and you put your body into this state, and if you can block out the sound, there's a process that you go through, and they use it so they can basically have it as a circuit breaker, and it reinvigorates all of your systems because it just allows your adrenal glands to kind of build back up to a certain point. But yeah, ultra marathon runners that are running 100-mile races will lie down literally, and they'll get up and they'll feel brand new after hallucinating and seeing, cartoon rabbits run across in front of the road in front of them, and they can basically replenish themselves to the point where they're just back to 100% focus again.
Probably worth pointing out, maybe just don't drive tired though, eh?
Yeah, the stats, there's a lot more statistical evidence around it now because, you're driving down the road and there's a car on a straight bit of road bloody upside down in a paddock. Right?
Yeah.
So it's either distraction, far out, or someone's falling asleep and through what AutoSense does, the amount of stuff we now have in heavy transport around people having fatigue moments and falling asleep is
because I got cameras
it's quite
with
scary.
Alarms and stuff on them now.
Yeah, it's facial recognition stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And so, and of course, it's not just heavy transport. It's bloody the majority of vehicles on the road are bloody cars, and there's people doing it all the bloody time.
In your dream world, how frequent would you, after you get your full license, and regardless of what that looks like, however much more training you have to do, like practical training, how frequently would you like to see drivers have to go back to do some training?
It's not even, and it's not even a test. It's actually just doing some, like a competency check kind of thing, or going and doing a course, which you have to do. And it's not a test. You just go and do a course.
Yeah.
That upgrades you, right? It gives you a little reminder, gives you an upgrade on maybe some skills and some teaching, do an emergency stop, all some of those kinds of things. 10 years. Yeah.
But I reckon even
I'd give it 10.
Yeah.
You look
at
at
10.
Automation of these things when it's within your vehicle, and it will be able to tell you when you are going outside of the parameters of what is successful, what is acceptable in terms of braking and all that sort of stuff. And with once again, to make motorcycles, if you do those ride forever courses, they trialed it as in like this will cut off, it'll be half the registration cost because it's $300-400 to register a bike.
Yeah.
If I had to do one of those every 5 years just to get half price registrations, as a result of that I became a better rider, then everybody wins.
It's a win.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not hard to set aside a day. Like you can take a mental health day. You surely should be able to take something that takes up such a massive part of our day-to-day lives. Most people spend a lot of time in a vehicle.
But again, it's forcing it to be, right? So when it is, that's the expectation. It's like, I know it's got to do it. You accept it.
Yeah.
It's you will accept it. It'll become the norm.
Totally.
But at the moment, it's not a norm, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to go and take a day to go and do Street Smart program and learn to be a better, safer, more aware, skilled driver because I don't have to.
Yeah.
But kids will spend, and families will spend $260 or $280, no problem, all day long, every day, to make their lives easier by getting their kid onto their full license 6 months earlier by doing the defensive driving course.
Yeah.
We'll do that all day, every day, and again, it's discriminatory because these days, $260, $280 for your kid to go and do an AA defensive driving course, which is not a pass or fail, by the way.
Yeah.
To get 6 months off their restricted license to get their full license earlier, there's people lining up to do that.
Yeah.
Could you?
But you don't want to then go and spend $260 to go to a driving course which doesn't give you 6 months, but it's going to make you a much better, safer, more aware driver. That's the risk level of crashing is so much lower. You know, it's crazy, and also the courses and the things that AutoSense provide, exactly the same thing, trying to get people and corporates and fleets and stuff to come and actually, you're out there on the roads, there's all these amazing courses that are going to reduce your the risk of your people on your road, health and safety, all that kind of stuff. You know, trying to get people to spend money on that space. It's going to come off our bottom line. It's all these excuses and reasons, but you know.
Could you not, and this is where my brain goes with it, surely that sort of stuff could be now, you could do that in Sims, and you could roll Sims out. You could have,
but again,
10, 20-foot containers that turn up, get dropped out into the car park, and your whole entire office goes through it, and you put on a VR headset, and you go through these different courses, and you bang them all out, and it only takes half an hour, 45 minutes, and it feels like you're driving. Because I understand the time cost. Like if we put the PALS office through this, say 20 employees in there, and we take them out for the day, and we go, rightio guys, we're going to do this big course. Like even to get 20 bodies through a vehicle and have them all have the same experience. So there needs to be 20 vehicles, and then you need to have the closed road to be able to do it, and all of those. Like it is cost inhibitive, and it does put things in front of you if you are a business and you're not willing to make that investment in your people, or people aren't willing to make that investment in themselves, because you're not going to do it on a weekend either. I look at my weekends, they're busier than my weekdays. Like I'm poked. Like when do I get the time to do it? But if you were to do it in a simulated setting, which did give you the same response with all of those key learnings that you get from AutoSense, and I'd say that would be, once again, that midpoint of a solution to a problem that everyone's pointing out.
Yeah, and there is Sims out there, and there is good tech and bits and pieces to doing that. But again, it is volume, and it's someone setting that up and spending that much money to do that, to be able to do volume. So again, you can't do something in 10 minutes or 15 minutes when it comes to driving. You know, you can't sit someone on there with a VR headset and go, hey, do this for 15 minutes, and it's going to change their world, right? So it needs to be over a longer period of time, and so there is a place for sim stuff, right? But at the end of the day, with driving being such a practical task, and it's a seat of the pants kind of situation, there is no way that there's any other way or no better way to do it than actually doing it in reality.
No replication of real.
No, so it's pretty shiny. How did we get off on that tangent anyway?
No, we're good like that.
You both got kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if you were teaching your kids to drive, what's the first and last thing you'd want them to learn from you? Are you going to pass that buck to someone else?
I mean, we aren't professionals. If you want a professional outcome, then invest in professionals.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to pay someone else that's actually good at it. You saw me today, mate. I'm going to learn from my dad's mistakes.
Are you colourblind?
Yeah. No, it's a nice red jumper.
Yeah, he's keen to have I reckon that, investing in people that are professionals. You know, if you want to learn something, learn from a professional to get a professional outcome. But also for me, once again, bringing it back to being on two wheels before you're in four gives you a greater understanding of the balance of life and how precious it is. And so my kids will ride bikes before they drive cars. Yeah, and that's starting now on push bikes, and then they'll progress onto an e-bike which has a bit more power in it, and we'll get them into situations where they need to be a little bit more aware, and then from there move into the vehicle. So my boys are 11, so over the next 4 years, that's what they'll be doing. Also, but there is something nice about being able to get out on track or get out and paddock bash a couple of cars around, or that's it's good fun. And being able to learn what it feels like when a vehicle goes. Like a lot of people probably wouldn't even know what that feeling is.
Of course they don't.
Yeah,
until it's too late.
And at that point, then you just panic. Like I've had situations where, like as a kid, when I was driving with a trailer that wasn't loaded properly, and as soon as I hit the picks, it just basically shoved up and lifted the arse off it. And so we just jackknifed down the hill, like leading out of Tauriko to the bottom of the Kaimais with two logging trucks overtaking each other coming up the other way. Yeah, and we thought, all of us in the car were like, we're toast. Everything's slow motion.
It's been good.
Oh, Jesus.
And to get and like my old man taught me, he is like, don't try and break your way out of a trailer situation. Drive your way out of a trailer situation. So I just gave it the jandle and managed to pull ourselves out of it. Because if I'd hit the picks, we would have just been pushed straight out in front of the trucks and we would have been toast. So yeah, long answer to a short question.
So you're not going to do it either, Dunk.
I've never really thought about it. Why would I? Like, I'm not qualified.
That's quite a logical answer.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a professional driver.
But
I'll get you to do it. How's that sound?
No, I'm shit at it. You ask my kids.
Podcast.
Ask my kids.
That's your trailer.
Ask my kids.
If you don't feel that you are qualified enough to be teaching,
I'm qualified. It's just my method's probably not very good. I am qualified. I'm so qualified.
Yeah.
But yeah, just people wouldn't like my method. Yeah, my kids don't like my method. What the?
They're good drivers now, though, aren't they?
Oh, you know that.
They're real handy.
Professional as well.
It is terrifying. I've taught all my kids and my wife as well. With them, and my daughter's the last one, and I don't think about her making a mistake. I think she's out there driving. I think about someone else making the mistake, right? And with her lack of experience, not reacting, not seeing it. Because people just don't see, one of the key things I tell kids is that, and you said it before when we were in the car, when you're riding a bike, every single other person on the road is going to make a mistake, which is going to have a negative outcome on you, right? So think about that every single time you turn up at a T-intersection, at a roundabout, when you're driving head on towards someone, on the other side of the road, that they're going to come across the centre line. Why it won't happen, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know why it won't happen, but it sure can happen. So be ready for it. Be ready for it every single time. And that's the best piece of advice. And then the problem with that is, though, kids are distracted. So they're not
more distracted
where
than
they
ever.
need to be all the time. So it's but because they just don't think it's going to happen to them.
No one does.
And it's something that just pumps dopamine through your body,
And that's why you should go to the racetrack.
First time that they do it. Exactly. Yeah,
that's right.
Or paddock bash.
Or paddock bash. Yeah. Well, that doesn't push you.
I've done
That
that
doesn't
ages
push you
now.
back in the seat because you're usually just wheel spinning. But
Yeah,
anyway,
true.
Yeah. But that's
Which
good
is
fun
also
too.
cool for you.
Yeah.
Depends if the paddock's dry.
Yeah. Right, fellas.
What a treat.
Appreciate.
Yes,
well,
thank
I don't know. Appreciate
It was
your
on.
time.
For us it was.
All right,
Yeah,
mate, for us it was. Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
I'll just be over there just going to fuck myself. Thanks, mate.
It's great. It's awesome. I love what you're doing. Like Jay said, solutions, not just pointing at the problem.
Yeah,
That's all part of it.
I appreciate your time, guys. I know that this podcast is probably going to probably put some pressure on Not For Radio.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to put some pressure on the sponsors, but
Yeah.
Whether or not it goes to air, we will see.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, boys. Right, golf clap, Jay and Dunc. Absolute bloody legends. Thanks heaps, guys, for coming in and having a chat in the driver's seat today. Appreciate the yarns, the chaos, and the quality chat. Thank you. And of course, a big thanks to AutoSense, whether you're riding a motorbike, driving something like Dunk's, which the Secret Service used to run around after the president, or just trying to survive the school run. They're doing top work to help Kiwis stay safe on our roads. If you had a laugh or learned something, hit the follow and flick this episode to a fellow Big Herb. Thanks a lot.